Imagine that every day you were the best part of a stranger's day. Imagine what your life would be like if you never blew up at your spouse or your kids. Imagine the kind of person you'd be if you never got frustrated in traffic and never walked out of a meeting feeling like you'd said either too much or you'd said too little. If you were that kind of person, you would be a mensch. A mensch is a Yiddish word that means a person of outstanding character. Well, I have good news for you. Each and every one of you has what it takes to be a mensch. All you need is a manual to make it happen. And if you give me your undivided attention for the next 4 minutes, I will explain to you about the Jewish spiritual practice of Mussar, which is going to help each and every one of you become a mensch and discover what it is that holds you back. It will help you discover those things inside that cause you to get stuck and prevent you from showing up as a mensch every day. Mussar is a 1,000-year-old Jewish spiritual practice. It comes from a time when the rabbis were trying to figure out why is it so hard to be good? What is it that, the commandments and how we're supposed to act, that's laid out pretty clearly. But it seems like we can hardly go a day without in some way or another slipping up and missing the mark. Mussar teaches that we all have the same soul traits. They're things like humility, patience, truth, order, but we have different amounts of each. And having too much of a soul trait is just as bad as having not enough. So if we have too little patience, how are we? We're angry and frustrated, right? But if we have too much patience, we're staying in a bad job, or we're staying in a bad relationship, when really what we need to be doing is taking action. I started practicing Mussar 5 years ago. I learned about it in a class, and I went to the rabbi in our synagogue, and I said, I want to start teaching Mussar. And she said, great! I said, but I also need to learn about Mussar. And she said, fantastic. She paid for me to take an online class, and just 2 months later, I was teaching. Well, after 3 years of teaching that class, refining, innovating, I decided that I was ready to write a book. And here it is. It's called The Spiritual Practice of Good Actions. Now, you might be saying to yourself, I'm not Jewish, or even if I'm Jewish, I don't have, very much Jewish literacy. So what does Mussar mean to me? Well, I want to tell you that, a lot of Jewish people feel like they can't really get into the Jewish stuff. It might interest you to know that the majority of Jewish people in America, they're not part of synagogues. They consider themselves cultural Jews. And so in a lot of ways, you might have a lot in common with them, where you just kind of want to be a good person, but you don't really know the teachings. So my number one focus was to make Mussar accessible. And one of the ways that I did that is I took out all Hebrew and all transliterations, all references to Hebrew, because I want it to be accessible. I also provide alternatives to God language, where some people, they get kind of unsure about the divinity, and that can be a barrier. So I took all of that out. And I was very gratified to learn that many rabbis and serious Mussar practitioners have read my book and they said, wow, this is really spot on, because you use references and you're very true to the teachings. What I want you to walk away with is the knowledge that each and every one of you has what it takes to be a mensch. And all you need is the manual. Well, the good news is that manual is available to you. And so what I'd like you to do is to be the first one to come back to me and buy this copy of the book, which I could sell to you today for cash or with a credit card. If the books are gone, pick up my card, and you can order it on Amazon or take advantage of some offers on my website. You will come away empowered and uplifted and feeling that you can, right now, today, start being a better person. So whenever that day comes, when you come to the end of your days, you can look back with surety that you have made the world a better place.